Celtics needed this win. Derrick White was awesome. Payton Pritchard got his hair cut, and that worked for him too. I'll explain it all right now on a Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT. Karalis recap the madness every game, every practice. Prime time dapping D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here in the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them every Monday through Friday, plus bonus podcasts when they play on the weekend, which won't be until next week when they play on a Friday night. Every show is free. Every show is available everywhere. It's everywhere because this is the #1 sports podcast network in the world. So thank you, everydayers, for making that possible. Everydayers, you're with me every Monday through Friday. So thank you so much. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I have been covering the team for about 20 years now. I've been doing this podcast for 10. I've written a couple books about the team. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers, you bet $5, you get $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Sign up at FanDuel.com. Celtics get a big win. I'm here at TD Garden. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be doing, you can get to the comment section and share your thoughts with me. You can see behind me, the floor is still down. The Celtics wiped that floor with the Memphis Grizzlies, or what's left of the Memphis Grizzlies. They're in competition with like New Orleans as the biggest dumpster fire in the league. But Celtics get this win by 36. Later on, we'll get to some of the individual performances that are not Derrick White and Payton Pritchard, because they're going to be right up near the top. But Neemias Queta, Luka Garza, Jaylen Brown, others were there. We'll talk about how Jordan Walsh started and didn't even hear his name called at the beginning. That stuff is in the second segment. Let's just start with this. The Celtics needed this win. The Celtics needed to get this win. They needed it to go like this. They needed everything to kind of go the way it went. And when I put in here that results matter, you need to see these results because everything that you're working for is building towards wins. Joe Mazzulla will sit there and be like, winning is the only thing that matters. And there's a process to winning. This is the process that the Celtics are building towards winning and winning weeks and winning a month at some point, maybe December, maybe January, maybe February. They want to win these months. They want to stack these wins together to try to prove people wrong. Like everybody in that locker room, everybody in the coaching staff, we can sit here and talk about whether the Celtics should be focusing on wins or not wins or whatever. People want to have that debate. That's fine. But these guys out here want to win, and they need to see the results to kind of get that taste of like, yes, okay, this is what we're working towards. This is a little bit of motivation. And you hear guys talk about how frustrated they are. Payton Pritchard said, I've been in a funk. I was not myself. I was overthinking. Derrick White, the same thing. When you're in a prolonged slump, you start to play tricks. Your mind starts to play tricks on you. So getting a result like this, where everything came together, is super, super important. The way I write it on Boston Sports Journal, where you can read all of my work, I can go sit at a blackjack table all night long and make every right decision, make every right bet. And you blackjack players know there's like a set of rules that go along with hitting or doubling down or splitting and all that stuff. And you can make every right call, and the cards just don't go your way, and you're going to lose money. You're going to go broke. And the house is not going to sit there and be like, well, you've made every right play. You made every right decision. We're going to cut you some slack. No, you lose. And the Celtics, when they lose games, when they, like the one against Philly, where they got a lot of good shots, they got a lot of good looks, and they just couldn't quite execute. They couldn't quite get those shots to fall. I don't care that this was Memphis. I don't care that this was the dumpster fire. I don't care that John Morant didn't play. I don't care if this was the media team that was out there. The Celtics needed to see shots fall. They needed to see the results, and they got them. Derrick White was incredible. This was a classic Derrick White game where he was everywhere. You saw him getting into passing lanes and getting steals. You saw him doing the chase down block thing. You saw him just running the energy, running the offense. He finished with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block, 3 offensive rebounds. He was 5 of 5 from the line, 3 of 6 from 3, 6 of 11 overall. This is just a purely Derrick White stat line. This is exactly what I was thinking when I say what I was expecting from Derrick White this season. This is the game. I was expecting this to happen a lot more often. And okay, Derrick is going through, first of all, a shooting slump. Second of all, new role. He's talked about it on his podcast, where he always knew where the shots were coming from. He always knew what he was like. You run down the floor, and it was almost mechanical. You run the floor, you get to the spot, you're going to get this shot. This year, you run down the floor, and well, first of all, you're not just running down the floor, you're dribbling down the floor because he has the ball in his hands a whole lot more. And you're looking for other guys. And so you're not going to a spot. You're looking for guys in spots. And you're running more pick and rolls, and you're creating for yourself a little bit more. It's just different. And the teammates are different. The defensive attention is different. The style of play is different. The chances that you're taking on defense, the pace of play, all of that stuff matters. Everything is tied together. This isn't just offense on one side, defense on another, like a football team. Everybody's playing everything. And Derrick is playing a lot of minutes, and Derrick is asked to do basically everything on the floor. Him and Jaylen and Payton, those are the 3 guys, but him and Jaylen mostly are asked to do a ton. And so the first 11 games has been a little bit of a struggle. Okay, fine. It's a long season. Game like this, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. You don't know, well, Sunday is going to bring. But and Derrick said this after the game, said, just because I hit these shots this one night doesn't mean I'm going to hit them the next game. So you just got to keep building that forward. But at the same time, you have a game like this and you say, okay, I remember this. I remember this feeling. And yeah, maybe you got it against, a borderline G League team, but that confidence, that feeling of like, oh, yes, this is how it feels. I remember this feeling. That can carry you forward. Same thing with Payton Pritchard, who was also awesome in this game. He had 24 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. I think his true shooting percentage was somewhere around like 76, 78%. True shooting is your 2 points or 3 points and your free throws. It's all kind of weighted in there. So to have a true shooting up that high is just that kind of night. He was 8 of 16 from the 8 of 15 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line. Just Payton, same thing. He was asked about, are you superstitious? What did you do? He goes, got a haircut this morning. And he talked about how his wife likes him with longer hair, but he's like, nope, I like to play with shorter hair. So he got his haircut and that's it. Sorry, babe. That's, the basketball results matter most here. He can grow his hair out over the summer. So that's the message from Payton Pritchard. And okay, he feels like better because he cut his hair and it's a little superstitious thing. The Memphis Grizzlies probably did more for his shooting and his results than the haircut did. But again, the Celtics get the open shots. They haven't been knocking them down. So to see Payton and to see Derrick get a game like this, combining for 44 points, combining to shoot, 14 of 26. That's just a beautiful shooting night for the two of them. Combining to go 8 of 16 from 3. They each shot 50% from 3. Man, so when I say much needed. So good to see. Now let's see what happens against the Clippers on Sunday afternoon. Celtics finally get 3 days off. And I'm certainly not making this excuse for them, but I do think that the schedule does play a factor in this. To have, this was 4 games in 6 nights. They had a stretch of 5 and 7. I think it's a lot. And the pace of play hasn't quite been where we wanted it to be. But I think with some time off, they get 3 days off before the Clippers game. They get a couple of days off next week. They get another couple of days off sprinkled in here or there. So maybe with some time off to get rested, to go through film sessions and actually practice, to teach, to learn. We can see the results start to stack up a little bit. We can see the execution a little bit. I thought a critical moment in this game was second quarter, end of the second quarter, right? Going into halftime, the Celtics were making a little bit of a run. They got up to a 14-point lead early. They kind of gave it back, and it was back and forth, single digits. It wasn't a blowout from the beginning. Then Jaylen Brown takes over. They go on a run. They start to stack things together. But then at the very end, with like 50-something seconds left, they execute a 3 for 2. So 3 for 2, you shoot that somewhere in the mid 50-second range. You get another possession there. You get it down to a 2 for 1. They hit that shot. Then they come back and they get the layup. So they close the first half on a big run. I want to say it was 23-7 to close the first half. All of a sudden, that lead is up at 20. They win the second quarter 33-20. That was such a critical spot, because if Memphis had cut it down and the shots weren't falling, the execution wasn't there, I'm not saying the Celtics would have lost this game, but it would have been annoyingly close, and no one wanted to see that. So execution and all that stuff was huge. Jordan Walsh started. We'll talk about that and why he didn't get to hear his name called. That is coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Wayfair. Holiday season is right around the corner. I'm already seeing Christmas trees in stores that I go to. It means it's time to get your home ready, whether you need more seating for guests, cozy new linens, or fun serveware for holiday hosting. Wayfair's Black Friday sale is here, all ready to help you make your space shine. The best part, you don't have to wait. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long. It's like a 30-day Friday. Every day's Friday, with up to 70% off everything from sofas to spatulas. So you want to get everything shipped fast, because all of a sudden, oh, wait, you're hosting Thanksgiving? Oh, well, let's get to Wayfair, because everything is shipped just in time for the holidays. You can browse through their site. It's easy to find pieces that actually fit your style. Nothing generic, just quality designs that are personal to you. Half my house is Wayfair. And whenever my wife gets the bug to start to like, hey, let's freshen this up, I can go through my text and find you like Wayfair link after Wayfair link to see like, hey, how about this? How about that? So it's super easy to shop. It's anything in your price range, whatever your price range is, whatever your style is. Don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for up to 70% off. That's Wayfair, WAYFAR.com. The sale ends December 7th. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Make Locked On NBA Game Night, Locked On NBA. They're both on the same feed. You can get that. Game Night 7 days a week. NBA is 5 days a week. They've got the big stories on Locked On NBA. Game Night covers every game, every night in the association. It's all part of the #1 sports podcast network. Thanks again to you for making that possible. Jordan Walsh got the start, so it was very interesting. Now, Jordan Walsh is on the upswing. We talked about that before. The funny part is they announce, they do the pregame intros, and then announce from Memphis, Josh Minot, where everybody's like, nope, it's not Josh Minot. So somehow the wrong lineup got to Eddie Palladino. Jordan Walsh got the start, his first ever start. So if he gets the start against the Clippers, then he'll finally get to hear his name called. But he came out, made an instant impact right away, had a block shot, came down, crazy finish, the left to right Euro step with the finish on the right side of the rim. That was nice. You get matched up with Jaren Jackson Jr. The Grizzlies started him and Jock Landale to go big, double big. So Landale was Queta's guy, and that left Walsh on Jaren Jackson Jr. and did a decent job. He played physical. He got a few fouls, but he played physical, and Jaren Jackson Jr. did not have much of an impact at all. He had 18 points, just a couple of rebounds. They were a couple of offensive rebounds, but he had trouble. He had 5 fouls. So the second chance points, the things that typically bother the Celtics, they didn't get any of that stuff in this game. So Jordan Walsh did a good job in his start. The Celtics won these margins pretty easily. The one thing that they didn't win was the free throws, but let's just go through the margins. The Celtics put up more shots. They got 99 shots to 95. They shot 50.5% to Memphis's 33.7. Memphis just couldn't hit a damn thing. Celtics shot 21 of 51 from three. The Grizzlies were 10 of 43. The Celtics got more offensive rebounds. They got more second chance points. Whenever the Celtics win second chance points, they're going to win the game. And they won it 34-12. So they were able to keep the Grizzlies off the boards. The Celtics rebounding. Now I sit over here, and behind me is the radio team, and you can hear the radio announcers getting upset about all of the offensive rebounds that the Celtics were getting. That's one of the things the Celtics need to do. You see them trying to jump for steals. Celtics did a good job, I thought, rotating behind that. They did and again, Memphis is not that good. So Memphis is not able to take advantage of it quite the same way. Like the Clippers game, obviously you don't expect the Celtics to beat the Clippers by 36, and you might not expect the Celtics to beat the Clippers at all. That's just kind of, I think the Clippers are going to be favored in that game, but the Grizzlies were not able to take advantage of when the Celtics did go into rotation. So the Celtics were able to, and they did a good job of kind of recovering for one another. That's one of the things that you're going to have to do. The Celtics defense is going to have to handle those rotations a little bit better. But the Celtics' first shot defense is always pretty good. Their half court defense is pretty good. It's the rebounding that kills them, the second chance points. And obviously, again, that didn't kill them in this game. Sean Grandy tweeted out, the Celtics are top 10 in offense. I think they're 10th in offense, 7th in defense, 10th overall in net rating. And they're not a top 10 team in the East. So a couple of bad breaks. Some bad execution. You can argue that the Celtics, like this stuff will level off over time. And hey, coming up, they've got a couple of games against the Brooklyn Nets. They've got some kind of cupcakes that are coming up that you say, oh, okay, you stack a few of these wins together. This was an important game. You get this win. Well, if you chalk up the Clippers as a loss, but then you give the Boston the two Brooklyn wins, well, now they're 6-7, 6-8. They win the two Brooklyn games. They're 8-8. Okay, 8-8 after 16, not a problem. You got 76 games after that. If you can start putting these things together and maybe you go on a little bit of an upswing, you start getting 1, 2, 3, 4 games above 500. Maybe start climbing into that top 10. I still think it's possible that the Celtics can find themselves in the top 6, but we'll see. It's too early to be standings watching, but regardless, these margins that the Celtics won, the offensive rebounding, obviously the assists, if you can make shots the way the Celtics did, they're going to win the assist battle. The turnovers were pretty even. The Celtics had one more turnover than the Grizzlies, but the Celtics did win the points off turnover 16-13. So they took advantage of that. So just a nice night. I thought, like I said, the execution, they did a good job. Finding Neemias Queta on the rolls, it's just an important thing. I think they have to start looking for him a little bit more, just because the pressure, I think there's a big room for improvement there where the Celtics get to Queta and Queta in the short roll. You saw that a little bit again tonight. Now, the one thing I didn't like, he did it in the Sixers game. He did it in this game. He didn't get called for it, but against the Sixers, he got called for an offensive foul. Queta still, I've said this a million times on the podcast, he needs to control his body. Momentum is his worst enemy. When Queta gets going in a certain direction, he just can't stop himself. And whether that's core, base, getting lower, working on his legs, doing some squats, I don't know what it is, but he has to figure out how to be in control. So when he's in the short roll, that he can stop, plant, and then he can make a move. But he stopped. He hit, I forget who it was on the Grizzlies. He did make the pass out to Payton Pritchard. They did end up getting a shot, a make out of that. So he got an assist. So that's good. He does on those particular plays, he does 80% of the things right. And it's that other bit that gets him in trouble. And that's the part. There's room for improvement there. If he can stop and not bowl guys over, that'll be a big deal. Now, I got to give him credit. This time last year, I was probably getting on Queta for bringing the ball way down every time he caught the ball because, again, his base, he's still not strong enough on his base, right? His knees still are point inward. He loses some of that strength. He doesn't. So what he had done in the past was he had to dip real low to try and go up and dunk everything. Now he's gotten out of that habit. He had one really nice play where he got the ball on the left block right here behind me, on the left block with defenders closing in. He caught it high, kept it high, and he laid it in. And that's just like beautiful. So he is capable of learning and doing these things that I'm saying. So that was my focus last year. This year, he has to control his body and his momentum. If he can do that, then Queta in the short roll can be a really important kind of weapon to use, and it'll draw people up. You can start cutting behind him. He's finding passes. He's recognizing things. He's getting better at that. So I want to see him continue to do that. But Neemias Queta was pretty good in this game as well. He was 6 of 6. So, a plus 27, another big plus minus night, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, just 2 fouls. So a really good Queta night, minus a couple of plays, but that's going to happen to everybody. So let's come back. We'll talk about individual players like Luka Garza, Jaylen Brown. Haven't talked about Jaylen Brown. How about this? The Celtics win by 36. I haven't talked about Jaylen Brown yet. We'll talk about all of that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Built. Nobody likes paying rent, but if you must, you must. And you might as well get something for it. That's where Built comes in. Built is changing the game by turning your rent payment into real rewards you can actually use. I don't rent anymore. I wish I could go back in time and have Built exist when I did, because I would earn flexible points that could be redeemed towards hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. But Built isn't just about rent. It's about rewarding you around your entire neighborhood. You can get points for everything. Like, you get points every month for something you already have to pay. So whether you're grabbing food at your favorite local restaurant or heading to the gym, you're still earning rewards. Built has made everyday life a little bit more rewarding, from your neighborhood to your travel plans. Turn your rent into rewards and start earning points around your neighborhood by going to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's JOINBILT. Joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure you use that link so they know we sent you. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. We are smack in the middle of the NBA season now. No better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. So if you missed the start of the game, not a problem. You can get in on live betting mid-game. You want to ride the hot hand. You want to see who's got the fourth quarter comeback. You can combine your bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps every game exciting, especially if your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving you, a new customer, your first $5 bet. If it wins, $300 in bonus bets. So you, new customer, bet $5. It wins, you get $300 in bonus bets. You can use that across the app. Head on over to FanDuel.com right now to sign up. When you sign up, when you log in, it's going to ask you to set a limit, set a budget. Yes, use that tool. We do not want you to go overboard. We do not want you to get into an emotional ride where you've lost a couple and you've run into, hey, you don't want that. Whatever it is, your disposable income, whatever you can afford to lose, that's it. You hit a cold streak, no problem. Come back later when you got money again and have some fun over at FanDuel. Sign up right now. Play your game at the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Fantasy Basketball with Josh Lloyd. He is going to help you win your league. Who do you start? Who do you cut? Who do you trade for? Who do you trade away? He's got it all. Bench, sit, everything at Locked On Fantasy Basketball, the absolute best fantasy basketball podcast on the #1 sports podcasting network. Other guys, let's just go down the box score. And Jaylen Brown, a nice game. The second quarter was, like I said before, the run that made them pull away. Let's see. It was a 23-7 run at the end of the first half. It extended to 35-9 But Jaylen Brown was a real catalyst in that 23-7 run. He just, in a moment where the Celtics kind of needed somebody to take over, he was there. Celtics got off to a pretty good start behind the starters. Bench came in. Joe Mazzulla went deep into his bench. It was the back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. So he started, we saw minutes from just about everybody except for Xavier Tillman. But he went to Josh Minot for 22 minutes off the bench. Baylor Shireman got early minutes. Chris Boucher got in there. Guys who had not been playing particularly much at all. DNPs for Shireman and Boucher recently. But Joe went deep into his bench to try to keep guys fresh. This was, if there is any big win here, it's that nobody played more than 30 minutes for the Celtics. Pritchard played 30 minutes and 22 seconds. So I guess technically he played more than 30 minutes, but he played 30 minutes and 22 seconds. That was it. Jaylen played 25. White played 26. That's just in the third game of 4 nights, heading into 3 days off. Obviously, there's going to be practice Fridays. There's going to probably be a practice Saturday. Guy's going to get after a little bit, but just able to kind of control that environment, get off your feet for a day, go relax, enjoy yourself. That's nice. This is a nice way. Perfect. Like I said, they needed this. But JB, not the loudest box score, 19.6 rebounds, 6 assists. But when he started going off, that was huge to put this thing kind of away at halftime. Celtics were up 20-21 at halftime. Then it just, to put them away third quarter, that was never in doubt. There was never really a risk. Although I did think it was funny. Celtics were up 31. And he had a weird lineup out there. I don't even remember who it was. It was like Derrick, Luka Garza, Baylor Shireman. It was just a weird mix of players. And they kind of made a couple of mistakes, but it was only a 26-point game. But he called timeout and came in and he just ripped into those guys. And I just thought it was funny. I thought maybe, I was thinking maybe he threw out this weird lineup just so he had somebody to yell at, because there's no way you could expect that lineup to defend very well. But I thought that was funny. But so Jaylen had a nice night. He shot 50% from 2. 50% overall, 40% from 3. So nice night for him. Like I said, Queta was good. Jordan Walsh was okay in his start. I don't know how this is going to go. I really don't. Like, Jordan gets a start now. Is he going to be the regular guy that gets in there and starts now? Who knows? Like, Josh Minot, we're all celebrating Josh, and now we're all celebrating Jordan, and I don't know who it's going to be. It's Joe. I don't know if Joe even knows. Maybe he's just keeping guys on their toes. I have no idea. The only 2 guys, if I'm going to criticize anything, and it's not really criticism, it's just these guys are still having a tough time. Sam Hauser, struggling. Well, he was 1 for 7 from 3. The one that he hit might as well have counted for 2 because he hit it from the logo, and he gives his signature like, oh, finally. So that's fine. I don't expect much from Sam. I know Sam's history. He has these stretches like this, and then he's going to have 5 games where he shoots like 70% from 3, or he's going to have at least 1 game where he's 10 of 12, and people are going to be like, whoa, what's going on here? He's going to end up being a 40% 3-point shooter. Sam Hauser is who he is. A cold stretch is not going to define him. He's an okay defender. He has moments where he looks really good. He has moments where he looks bad. I think this is just who Sam Hauser is. I do not expect much more out of Sam Hauser. He will continue to do this. He'll have his cold streaks. He'll have his hot streaks. He tends to be a little bit of a streaky shooter. The 3-point shot, when you're a specialist like that, tends to be a streaky shot anyway. It's a very difficult shot to make. It's a very difficult shot to hit consistently. That's why guys like Steph Curry are just so freaking amazing. It's not an easy shot. But I know that he'll be fine. So tough night for him. Anthony Simons didn't quite get it going. 2 of 10, 2 of 6 overall. He did have 7 assists. Luka Garza, 6 of 8. He had a nice stretch where he was kind of like Jaren Jackson would hit a shot and he would answer. He was 2 of 3 from 3. He hit those, I think, during that second quarter stretch where the Celtics started to pull away. So Joe, after the game, was like, he has this uncanny kind of knack to just play harder than everyone else. So that's a nice kind of compliment. And he acknowledged it after the game. Garza did. He's like, yeah, I kind of realized early on that I wasn't the most athletic guy out there. So this is what I had to do to play. And so it's working right now. And he's on a pretty nice 3-game stretch. I don't know how this is going to go, because the first few games of the season, it looked like Garza was like, oh God, this is a problem. And now he's playing pretty well. So some of the things that we saw early on might just be figuring things out, right? And we have to give them the time to figure this out. This is only game, was it 13? Their Celtics are 6-7 now. So 13, plenty of time for a lot of things to change and happen, whatever. So good for him. Josh Minot played well off the bench. 4 of 8, 1 of 4, up and down, but was okay. Good to see Baylor Scheinman hit some shots. So Ugo didn't play much. Boucher played some, but rebounded well, 7 rebounds for him. So that's it. Look, not much else to say in a 36-point win. Celtics got the blowout win. Hooray. They're 6-7. If they can get this win on Sunday against the Clippers, you never know. Like, it's not out of the question. Clippers will certainly be favored, but home game with 3 days off, that could be a real nice quality win if the Celtics can get that. If they can get back to 500 with 2 games coming up against the Brooklyn Nets, that changes the dynamic a little bit of what this season is going to be. And like I've said, it's not about how many wins can they get. It's about figuring out how to win these games, figuring out how to beat the Clippers, who are a team that's, I don't know, they're not in the contender class, but they're in the pretty good class. And they are, that would be a quality win. So it's about stacking these wins and figuring out how to do it, how to string some things together, get that execution where it needs to be. So nice test coming up on Sunday. I will be back tomorrow with another podcast. The show is Monday through Friday. It's free. It's available everywhere. If you're not a subscriber yet, become a subscriber. Become an every day, or join me every Monday through Friday like a lot of folks do. And get onto the podcast, get onto the YouTube version of the podcast, I should say. Get into the comment section there. Share your thoughts with me, with your fellow Celtics fans, and then share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.